Hi, I'm Dr. Rudy Cashman, Wellness Director at Lutheran Health Network. I was a neurosurgeon for almost 45 years, but during a lot of that time, I thought, 70% of the people or so of the very nice patients I had the pleasure of treating needed wellness teaching. They didn't need anything, frankly, more than that. So I became an advocate of that. Started writing about it, reading about it. Now I have TV shows, and many of you have seen previous lectures or shows on this. And look at cashmanhealth.com. There's a lot of 80 previous TV shows there, a lot of information and books to educate yourself. We must participate in our health care. That's critical. Many people today, here's the script, see you later. We need to understand what's our problem, sometimes even get second opinions, and do some reading, watch some shows, listen to some CD-ROMs to educate ourselves about a problem. It'll lead to save a lot of money, lead to much better health. And with that, thanks a lot for watching our shows. We appreciate that. If you see me somewhere, don't hesitate to speak to me. I always enjoy that. Today we're speaking about psychology of eating. Yes, there's psychology to it, all right. And many people are addicted to sugar. Frankly, I think we have a very serious problem with sugar addiction. The biggest cause of being overweight in the world is sugar. It's sugar, the chemistry of sugar. Fat has something to do with it, but sugar doesn't raise the insulin level. The insulin will lay fat down in your body. It's an anabolic hormone, so sugar is the booger. Sugar is the booger. And so for many of us, it's addiction. It's not just plain overeating. We're addicted to it. It makes us feel good. It's a haven, a cave, an escape, a refuge. They're saying sugar is 4 to 8 times more addictive than cocaine. It affects our addictive circuitry in our brain. They've proved it now with magnetic resonance imaging, MRI studies, functional MRI studies with the brain. If we eat sugary substances or we think the sugar is coming, our brain just lights up. Even non-diet drinks light up our brain because our anticipation of sugar. Very interesting. We are what we eat. We are what we eat, especially what type of food we are eating. If we eat nutrient-dense food, foods of color, you can add mushrooms and onions, we're much healthier because you'll only, through metabolism, you'll lose 40% of the calories in the metabolism of it. Yeah, 40% at least. But if you're eating nothing but fat, you lose 4%. You see the difference? So did I say diet? No, I said just a different type of food. And industry responds if the government makes some regulations or let bad publicity, we reduce the sugar content, they increase the fat content. So you got to read labels. You got to become a label reader, very important. And get your kids to participate in education on proper food, very important. They may be skinny, but their blood work may be out of whack. So children should have the blood work done starting at age 2 every year. It's going to get very cheap through a company called Theranos. You go to Walgreens, 1 drop of blood, $40, all your blood tests. It's going to happen. There's another company that I think is going to even be cheaper. They'll have a chip in the doctor's office, 1 drop of blood, and it's all done. This is going to happen within the year. I've called these companies. But you must participate in your health care and get these screenings done. This is very important. It's not, well, I'll see you in 5 years. You can get a lot of illnesses within 5 years, which is the recommendation of the American Heart Association. We'll get a 5-year screening. Baloney. Yearly. And what is it all about? It's about brain chemistry. It's the chemistry, how it affects the hypothalamus area, the base of our brain, the limbic system, what it is really all about. There's a nucleus accumbens in our frontal lobe, 1 millimeter in size. I mean, give me a break. 1 millimeter, one little dot, that is the hedonistic center where we appreciate the effects of food and chemicals and serotonin and dopamine, that feel-good chemicals. So we have an addictive circuitry in our brain: cocaine, sugar. It's all nicotine. It's all the same circuitry. And marijuana, certain amount of people get addicted to marijuana. 12% become addicted to it. Incidentally, marijuana causes the munchies. You want a pot belly? Smoke marijuana. I spoke to a high school student today in North Manchester. I was giving a lecture at a farm, an organic farm. And the high school student, I told him about 35% of the kids at least have tried marijuana. He said, "Doc, it's much higher than that." That's scary, very scary. Very scary, because children's brains are not fully developed, and if they smoke marijuana, some brain cells are going to die. Yeah, it's going to happen. So addiction to sugar, it impairs a normal brain. And an addiction process is, as you have withdrawal, you crave it, you want more to satisfy that craving. That's about 10 steps to addiction, and you become dependent on it, and you, next time you eat more of a fix, a bigger fix, and as the years go on, you'll be eating more sugary substance, and then some fat can become addictive, like cheese, 80% fat. Some people are addicted to cheese, believe it or not, and yeah, we do believe it. And through tolerance, it's called tolerance. We need more, just like cocaine, need more and more to get that kick, that feeling, okay? Most of us eat sugar to fill in a void of something missing in our life. Now open your eyes, okay? Just open your eyes and look around, and if every family member is overweight, don't blame it just on the genes. That's 10% of it. You're all eating the same food, or variants of the same food. Be realistic. Don't be delusional. Don't live in denial. And remember, there's a judgment-free zone. I'm just trying to keep you healthy. Because if you're not healthy then you get type 2 diabetes, you're going to go blind, they're going to amputate your legs, you're going to walk with probably on your ankles with horrible pain, have a heart attack unannounced, a heart attack or stroke at a young age. Yeah, I'm trying to get you to avoid that. But the biggest thing in sugar is psychology. You can detox from it maybe 21 days. Some just take a week. Cut way down on your sugar intake, and an enzyme in the liver will change, and you won't crave it as much. That's a good start. So some of us become physically dependent on it. We just got to have it. We don't feel good. You come home from a stressful day, and we got to have some sugar, something with sugar in it. So have something ready. Maybe some protein foods. Maybe a boiled egg, for example. Just eat the egg, or grab an apple. That has some sugar, but not much. And to satisfy the appetite. Because be prepared. Prepare for your snacks in advance. We all need 2 or 3 snacks a day. That's fine. I keep a few nuts in the car on the way home, so I don't eat too much. I have about 5 nuts. Okay, 2 walnuts and 2 other nuts, almond nuts, and my appetite really goes way down. Or take a walk before you work. If the dinner isn't ready, take a short walk, or get on that treadmill for a minute, and your endorphins will reduce your appetite. So there are tricks to it. But it's about neurotransmitters. Our neurons, our axons, will send a message across, and they don't just run all the way to the toes, okay? There are gaps in there, and the neurotransmitters jump from the axon to the dendrite, and food the main chemicals involved here are serotonin and dopamine, okay? They're that make us feel good. And then we have endorphins. That's our own morphine. They can be brought out by sugar. They can be brought out by exercise, by music, by dancing. After you exercise, boy, I feel good. That's your own endorphins. Good stuff. You can only become addicted to something your body already makes. That's kind of instinct. There's a chemical called dynorphin that also made in the hypothalamus. And I saw a person at a plane recently, significantly overweight. He literally tore his potato chip bag open with his teeth. Couldn't get it open. He kept on going. I mean, he was like a tiger going at it. Ate the whole thing in a minute, then another one down the second minute. That's probably a secretion of dynorphin. I think I experienced it last night. I was going to watch the political debates, to midnight, just for entertainment, really. And it was in a form of entertainment. And I was playing tennis and hurrying, driving and stuff. And I think it must have stimulated my psychology a bit, because my wife was feeding some dinner at the beginning. And man, oh man, I seemed to want to eat every silly thing that had some sugar in it. At the end, I think I had some secretion of dynorphin for my supposed subconscious stress. There's nothing to be stressful about, but it's the way it was. And I've seen it before if I was operating all night, through the night, and the next day, and the previous day, and man, oh man, I go to the different hospital, eat anything they get in the refrigerator, which I normally wouldn't touch. I normally wouldn't touch that food. I think that's dynorphin, so you have to have something ready. If that happens, have something ready. And I did have something ready, but that didn't seem to satisfy it, so I had to have more of it available. So that's dynorphin, okay? And so as I mentioned already, look at your family. When they have their clothes off, have a look, take your kids, stand in front of the mirror, have a look, realistic look. The problem with eating disorders a lot of times is that people may be extremely thin, and they look in the mirror and they see themselves as being overweight. Others are overweight and they look in the mirror and they think they're very thin. So people indeed do have imaging problems, and the same way with children. They take them to the pediatrician, he takes their clothes off, and he looks at them, your child's obese. He said, wait, Johnny's fine. Well, they don't see it. So that has to be considered. You have to keep that in mind. Maybe ask a friend, hey, am I overweight? Do I have belly fat? Measure the belly, for example. And stress causes increased eating, no doubt about it. And that's because the steroids, cortisol, is secreted in the adrenal gland, thinks that's a tiger running at you, and it increases the sugar in the blood, because it wants you to have the energy to fight the tiger. The trouble is, there's no tiger. 90% of our stressful thoughts never come to fruition. So that's the reason they teach meditation. Don't think of the past, don't think of the future, only of the day. There's a rule in my house. At 7 p.m., we don't discuss problems of the day till 7 or 8 a.m. in the morning. The problems of the day belong to up there. They belong to there. They'll take care of them. You can't solve them anyway. And that time of night, to reduce stress, that's what it causes overeating a great deal, causes secretion of cortisol. A sign of a pot belly can be a sign of stress. Yeah, apple shape is more dangerous than pear shape, because the fat that we think is under the skin actually is in the liver and the heart and the omentum, and secretes out 20 nasty chemicals, cytokines, increased rates of cancer, increased rates of diabetes, increased rates of dementia. Fat, they think now, is a gland. It's a gland, yeah. So a stressed belly can be a sign of overeating. Food is an automatic response to our feelings. Yeah, a glass of wine, a donut or 2 or 3. Havana is nirvana. You can eat the whole thing. Once you start, then the insulin increase in blood sugar will tell the brain, eat more, eat more, eat more, and you'll eat the whole darn thing. And then you feel very bad about an hour later, because the insulin level went up, the sugar level up, and the insulin took the sugar down, and now you're below 100, and now you may have a seizure, pass out, feel depressed, or want to go to bed. That's the reaction to too much sugar in the blood system. I know of a gentleman who sings at a church, and he looks fairly healthy, but maybe not quite. Went to the church and ate about 30 of those small donuts, which they have a habit of giving to people in church, which I say is not good. It's addicting the people. They should be serving fresh vegetables, some hummus, things like that. Every church does that. But anyway, he ate the 30 donuts and then had a sugary drink. He sang during the first service, and it was beautiful. His beautiful voice. Second service, he passed out. He passed out. Why was that? Like, you know the answer already. I don't have to tell you. The sugar went sky high. Insulin was secreted. Sugar dove down, and he passed out. Yeah, he had a glucose tolerance test. It's like swallowing, 100 grams of sugar. Yeah, that's really what he had. I said, you're pre-diabetic. Okay, not funny, but if you lost 10% of his body weight, it'll all be gone. So it's not hard, but it was sort of interesting. So if you eat a little bit of protein, healthy meat, for example, that will drive the other amino acids into the muscles and will let tryptophan get into the brain, which is the precursor to serotonin, makes you feel good. So good protein meat, no fat on them, from organic meat products, for example, can actually make you feel good and affect the serotonin level that way. But overeating, why do we overeat? Low serotonin level, we don't feel good. It's readily available. Fast food, easy to get there. We're a bit depressed. We want to feel better. It works. It's worked for me in the past. We crave sugar because we're addicted to it. Sugar addiction is rampant in this nation. We have laws against cocaine addiction and all that stuff. We have no law against sugar addiction, but 200 million, 150 million people are sugar addicts in this nation. You see somebody significantly overweight, they're sugar addicts. Let's call it what it is, and maybe they'll begin to change. We're not interested in punishing anybody. We're interested in trying to change things because I see the future. I see the future. You weigh 250 and your fasting blood sugar is normal. They're not teaching you how to exercise properly and eat the right food. You're going to have a life of heart attacks, strokes, visual loss, renal transplants, amputation. That's your life. Almost all people that are 10% overweight are pre-diabetic. Almost all. In my experience, when you properly test them with a 2-hour glucose tolerance test, getting your fasting blood sugar and a serum insulin. And that's very important. So food is an automatic response to feeling. Something is missing in our life. Dr. Ken in 1910 described acute stress. The tiger's running at you, and your blood sugar goes up, your pupils dilate, the bladder shuts down, the belly shuts down, you start sweating, and you think you're going to die. You either live or die, and most lived, and it's over. People don't get obesity from that. But chronic stress playing from us, the tiger's running at us, but isn't killing us. And we're still alive, and we experience it all day, day after day, week after week, and we start overeating to feel good. And you blame anybody? People that are addicted. I've dealt with some in my life with addicted people. I did a lot of narcotics and neurosurgery to provide people. I wrote 3 books on pain. They're on Amazon. Matter of fact, my last book was Narcotics, The Road to Hell, with fires of hell in the background, because I experienced it in my patients. I was trying to stop it. But so Ken had the acute stress thing. Then Dr. Hans Seeley, German relative of mine, not a relative, but fellow German, published 1,000 papers on chronic stress over in Canada. He stressed animals and then drew their blood and steroids and all that, and he developed the adaptation syndrome. NIH no longer funds stress studies on animals because he proved it, what it did, increased the steroids, made the adrenals bigger, the heart bigger, blood pressure went up, and then they died. And that's a chronic stress. And that's what most of us experience. The tiger isn't running at us most of the time. It's the chronic stress that's getting us, and we're gaining weight and overeating to make us feel good. And addicts, you see, because I dealt with addicts, they travel down here. They just like to have a day where they feel good. So am I running blame at them? No. I'm trying to help them. They're traveling down here. They just like to have a day but they'd feel good. So what do? Take narcotics, sugar, food, alcohol. Just, they're not even looking for the big high. They're looking to feel normal. So you can see why addiction is so difficult for some people to overcome. So taking small steps or big steps kind of depends. You have to watch for the cue. You go into a party, you go into dinner, at the hospital, you used to go to the doctor's lounge. I had the food there, lunch hour in the doctor's lounge. I knew the dietitian, so me, I had it changed to what I could get away with without pre-objecting. So we're very good salad bar there. It's fantastic. We still got some of the nasty desserts, but I learned walking in there, I don't look at them. Okay, matter of fact, I for a while imagined having a heart attack if I looked at them, and that stopped me. Visualization is more likely to speak to your brain. So if you're trying to avoid something, maybe visualize something bad happening to you, and you might stay away from that. So I never, as long as I didn't look at desserts, they had donuts, they had everything there, and so I never ate it. Just ate some nuts in the salads, and it was great stuff. Great stuff. The adaptation syndrome of Hans Seeley, we spoke about that, and he also did research on dynorphins, the thing that is a ravenous appetite. Have something ready if that happens to you. Maybe it happens once a week, maybe every other day. To me, it happened only on a very stressful night, or I don't know why I get stressed about a political thing, but I did. It was in my mind a lot, maybe. It didn't mean that much to me. It's just kind of interesting. And maybe because years ago I was a student demonstrator, even in Washington, D.C., the Vietnam War, all that stuff. I was a student demonstrator. I guess I think too much. And but have something ready, either exercise an apple or a boiled egg, for example. Have something ready in case you get, and try to avoid that cue and visualize maybe something bad happening to you if you ate that, and that's very interesting. I've written, and you can get them off my website or call my gentleman, come to one of my lectures, and we'll try to get you a copy of Rudy's 20 Prescriptions for Stress Reduction. And I wrote a book on the psychology of eating, Amazon Books. It's 88 pages, easy to read, but it's right to the point. You can get that real cheap. And I'm not trying to sell books here, but I'm trying to help you. And on page 10 are the 20 prescriptions for stress reduction. Learn something about meditation, maybe develop a spiritual place in the home that's only yours, where you do some deep breathing. Don't think of the past, don't think of the future, just think of the present moment. And you'll become relaxed. Your blood pressure will drop. You get a high blood pressure, try that. Do some deep breathing along with concentrate on something. You maybe say God, 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 whatever, or pencil. Repeat some word, and you concentrate only on that. Your mind will relax. Your blood pressure drops. I did it when mine was elevated a little bit from my life of neurosurgery. Visualize something better. If you visualize something like golfers visualize where the ball is going to land. I play tennis. I visualize where the ball is going to land. That's speaking to your subconscious mind. Don't think. Visualize it. It's how to speak to your subconscious mind. It's much more likely to happen. Visual memory is probably 10 times other types of memory, whether you hear something or versus if you see it, you're much more likely to remember it. Yeah. If you want to improve your memory, visualize something with what you're trying to remember. You're much more likely to remember that. Before you go to bed, say something nice, something thankful. Finances are a problem for everybody. Try to keep them as peaceful as you can, because that obviously is stressful, and who doesn't have that stress, right? Don't focus on negativity. Be a positive person. I remember I had a nurse years ago, 6'4", black gentleman, long hair. I'm not sure he's the best nurse I ever had, but everybody loved him more than even me. Yeah, because I'm nice to people. I think it's hard to do. They loved Brian because Brian spoke in a soft voice and always spoke to everybody. I get phone calls in the office from a little kid. Could Brian come back to see me again? I never had that happen to me. And he go talk to the kid. The way speaking to people, smiling, smile if your heart is breaking. Okay, Nat King Cole, and good song to listen to. That secretes your own endorphins, your own feel-good hormones, and you will do better. So don't focus on negativity. Practice some yoga because it's about meditation and focus. And I do some yoga almost every day while I work out at a workout place. The weightlifting and the treadmill, I've worked yoga into it. So I'm really stretched out well. I'm loose that way. It's about a 10-minute, 15-minute routine. I've got it memorized now. I'm going to teach it to a Daniel Plan course that I teach next Tuesday. And that's a good thing because yoga, if you pay attention to what you're doing, to the stretch, whatever you got, your mind doesn't think of the past or the future. It's relaxing. It's meditation. Meditation is mind energy. You're concentrated on the mind. And each day or so spend, if you can, 15, 30 minutes meditative walking. I wrote this thing 10 years ago, but now that I have more time, not being a neurosurgeon now, every morning I walk 30 minutes. You know what I'm doing when I walk? I look at nature. I look at the leaves, the number of leaves it has. I speak to the birds. Now I'm singing. Yeah, now I'm singing, practicing my songs. I'm taking singing lessons at a beautiful place at Sweetwater. What a place. Jeez. And I'm taking singing and piano lessons there. And while I'm walking, I sing. Can you imagine? That's meditative walking. Just what I wrote about 10 years ago, now I'm doing it. It's kind of instinct. And think positively. Power of Positive Thinking, book written years ago. I think positive thinking is a big thing. It's cause secretion of your own endorphins, dopamine and serotonin, and look at the positive, the negative side of things, and eat proper food. Remember we talked about Nutrientdense and increase your activity of living, organize your time. I think that's important, that you get a schedule, maybe write it out, that you're not hurrying from place to place. And don't smoke, use illegal drugs, accept medications. I see so many people that have on them, 15, 30 medications. Please don't do that. If it's life-saving, take it. But this treatment of a script to the ill versus participating in your health care is a problem. So make sure you need the medicine, double check it, read about it. Especially if you're elderly. I don't want you to be 85 and be on 15 medications. I see that. And very expensive. You can save a lot of money. Some of them are hurting you, not helping you. Some are very important. Some medicines clearly are very important. So I'm going to tell you to stop them. But I'm telling you to find out some information about it. So be a happy person, okay? Let go of self-judgment, self-criticism. Life is like the stock market. It's up and down. And you've got to accept that. Develop systems of relaxation, of exercise and music and dancing. Yeah, I take dancing lessons. I take music lessons. I take singing lessons. I'm not exactly 39 years old. I celebrated my 41st birthday of my 39th birthday next April 25th. Add them up. Okay, but I feel good because I practice the things that I'm teaching you. And thanks for watching my show. Watch the other shows. 6 o'clock Mondays, I think 7 o'clock at Wednesdays. And CashmanHealth.com will give you the schedule. You can watch old shows, CashmanHealth.com, and get yourself educated. Participate in your health care. Namaste. We love you all. Thanks for watching our stuff. If you see me come to my lectures, say hi, give me a hug. I'll give you one back. I love you all. Thank you.